Solution? No, the solution is freaking abolish the Federal Reserve 100%.
Oh yeah,
dude.
federal and Congress.
Well,
And the government. The thing that's problem right now is that the government is totally bought in now. Our government now is totally, that's how they got the last few presidents in. They're totally sold out. Because, one, when they get elected, they're in a new nation. They're no longer part of America. They're part of Washington, D.C.
right.
Part of a corporation.
So they're part of the corporation, and they're told, your paycheck doesn't come from the people, it comes from the Federal Reserve, and the 13 or how many families are there that are bankrolling us. We have to control them for them.
Well, the branches of the
And-
Federal Reserve, yeah.
Yeah, and see, they don't tell you about the
Screw the
fourth
Federal
branch.
The Federal Reserve is a
See,
branch of the
what is it?
European
Well, yeah,
Union.
What is
but the
it?
thing is, that's the
Yeah,
fourth
I-
branch of the United States government. They don't say that,
Yeah.
but, and the thing about it is, like
Yeah, but they
Stalin,
don't. Yeah, but they don't say we the people are the fourth branch of the government as well.
we're the
we
fifth.
Well, actually,
well, we're
actually,
behind
we're
the
the
banks.
fifth.
Those
Behind
other
the
Should be the
banks.
first. Well, no, that's there
Well,
isn't.
no, we are supposed to
Nothing
be the
matters.
first branch of the government. Let's get back
First,
on
let's-
topic.
let's
So,
finish news, then we'll.
so we were talking about Ron Paul.
All right. Now let's
Talk
bring
about
up the
Ron Paul.
points about Ron Paul. Ron Paul. What's y'all's first impression of Ron Paul when you first heard of him and
I'll
looked
go
at
start.
Shoot.
Okay, so the first
good.
time
Sonny,
I heard of Ron Paul.
what was your impression?
Well, first of all, I was driving on the 15 from Las Vegas to Los Angeles, and I saw this billboard that said Ron Paul Revolution. I'm thinking, Revolution? I automatically thought this guy was some kind of a,
Kook.
No. Actually, I thought he was somebody that was kind of hip to the whole what the government's really about kind of candidate. But he was a
Right.
Republican. I'm like thinking, okay. So then when I kind of read up on him a little bit, I knew that he was against the Federal Reserve and he wanted a gold standard and he wanted to pull out of all the wars and he was a kind of a separatist and more of a constitutionalist. And I liked what I was hearing, but he was a Republican and it never made sense to me why.
Exactly. I agree
He didn't
with
just
that
say, you know
very
what,
point.
I'm just going to be an independent or I'm going to join the Libertarian Party or whatever. I thought he stayed as
Well,
a
he ran
Republican.
for president as libertarian.
Yeah, he did. And what, was it 84 then, or 87? 87, 88?
88.
88, 88.
And he's, I think they've gotten to him after that point.
Where
because
is he? Where is he? We
Well,
haven't seen him.
well, no, we can get into that, but I mean,
He's still there,
Where
but
is he?
he's leading a front that's a false front. It's a false flag, I think, operation. It's made to
What-
draw out the people that they want to see who want to go to the
That,
Constitution.
but that doesn't even
who
mean
want-
he's.
well, no,
part of
I've
it.
heard this conspiracy as well, where they're trying to use Ron Paul like a bait
Yes.
to get people motivated so they can create this list. I'm not afraid
Yes.
of any list.
Neither am I. I don't care.
Lists are a joke, so if you're on a list, hey, congratulations, you're doing your job.
You're going to put people on lists anyway. I mean,
And they do have lists. They're not going to tell you they have lists. They'll say, well, we've divided it up this way for allocation of resources and people to just get people in a major catastrophe. This is what they would use as a guide to not tell you what they're really setting them up for.
but we're already on that list now.
Well, yeah, we are.
If we weren't,
Oh,
if
I mean,
we
the
weren't then, we
ADL
definitely are now.
Yeah, the ADL has this
Let me
as
tell you.
terrorist group. I guess I could go next. Great.
Yep.
I first heard about Ron Paul back in 2007. I think it was on either Jack Blood's show or the Alex Jones show, one or the other. It was on the GCN network. Anyways, I just heard about this senator from Texas. He was talking about the Federal Reserve. I started digging into the Federal Reserve around that time, trying to figure out, well, what is money? Where does money come from? And he was talking about, they needed to be abolished. One of the first things that Ron Paul was trying to do was abolish the Federal Reserve, and then he got a little, I don't know, I guess you can say, what were they calling it, with the Rand Paul thing and him working with the neocons,
Compromising his
right, so he
position.
compromised his position and said, okay, we'll just audit the Fed. So we had HR 1207, I
Which
believe.
died.
Yeah, which died. HR 833, which was the abolishing the Fed, pretty much died. But that's what pretty much, turned me on to this Ron Paul guy. Another thing was completely legalizing and decriminalizing every single drug. Making it no longer a criminal thing, where where you make something illegal,
Like
you
the
jack,
Netherlands.
you jack up the price. Yeah, exactly. So those are things that I liked. Supported the Second Amendment. Another thing that I seen to draw me towards him was his non-interventionalist type of stance, more of isolationist. point of view, where
Right, stay away from
the hell
all-
out of other people's backyards.
Yep.
I mean, he gave a speech where he was talking about we create the terrorists. I mean, you
Yep.
invade their homeland, you start killing their people, you start destroying them, you oppress them for years and years and years. Well, what do you expect to get? Imagine if China did that to the United States. I mean, we'd have
There'd be
extremists
hell and
big
blood.
time. Oh yeah. I mean, Red Dawn would become,
There's a
walk
lot
in
of
the
us who
park
know
compared
nukes,
to reality.
and we
right?
know how to deliver them.
Right, and and another thing too that also drew me towards Ron Paul was his campaign. One of his campaign supporters, Stuart Rhodes, who is the founder of the Oath Keepers, and a lot of people were playing the race card, saying that Ron Paul is racist. You know, he hates blacks, he hates Mexicans, all this. Well, Stuart Rhodes happened to be Hispanic, so. Ron Paul has been working with Hispanics,
They always
African
use that race
Americans.
card,
Yeah, they always try to pull the race card when they have
To
nothing
see
left.
if it has the effect.
You don't like nationalized health care, you're racist. You don't
Yeah.
like Obama, you're racist.
But
you
isn't
don't like gay marriage, you're
isn't
racist.
voting for him just because he's black? Isn't that racist?
Yes.
Sure, you got a lot
Vote
of
for
people,
somebody
yeah.
because he's black. or
But did
because
y'all
he's
see?
English.
Remember the
reverse racism.
2008?
It's racism, right?
Y'all remember the 2008 election? How it was almost euphoric, and you had people crying.
Right.
Black, whites, Hispanics. It was like he was.
Oh, I remember that.
Well, the
he
media
was
mind
like
control machine
God.
played a lot to do with that. I mean,
Yes.
when we look at the whole people that call themselves the Occupy movement, they're talking all this 99%, 1%, and
That's
when you
all-
look at the
It's all
1%,
flam.
well, there is a 1%. It's actually the 0.001%, and who is the 0.001%? And that's the Federal Reserve bankers, the Illuminati per se. Some people call it the Illuminati. They call it the Illuminati. They call it the New World Order. That's the 0.001%. And those people influence everything that's going on with their money, with their politics,
And
injecting
with-
these issues of racism into
Right.
the media.
And they
Stay
use the
home.
people within their organizations to move certain directions. And they don't need to tell them. They just set certain parameters that move it that way. For example,
Right,
they
the rat
own,
hole.
well, they own and run all of the stock exchanges. If they lift it up, they can bring it down. For
Yeah,
example,
stock
in the late
exchanges is
in the
one-
1700s, one of the Rothschilds were
Yep.
about to die, and the French government was licking their chops. They were going to get a bunch of money, so they thought, "Oh, we can't have that. We can't lose a bunch of money." So, oops, the market went way down, and his value dropped to, oh man, he's lost a lot of money. He died, and they taxed that at a low rate. He didn't get much out of it. All of a sudden, the family gets the fortune again, and the stock market just soared, and they got more back.
Well, yeah, it's all manipulation of the currency,
The same thing happened
especially
during
like
the
fiat.
Battle of Waterloo, where
Oh
they,
yes,
they, like,
where
rigged
the
the-
Rothschilds really made bank.
Oh yeah, they tricked everyone
They
into
literally
thinking
bought
that the
everything.
British lost.
They already knew who won, and they started a
It's stock market,
rumor
right?
to where it went way down. They bought up everything,
Bought up
Pennies on the dollar.
and then boom,
On
they
the
find out
pound.
it's just the opposite, and all the prices.
then they
And
Through the roof. And we could also see that in modern times with Bernanke.
or with us today,
Well, yeah,
our
that's
stock
right.
market.
Right. Well, I mean, Bernanke last week, he was talking about QE3, and the market was doing this.
Yep.
Just the mention of QE3.
And the
The
thing
market
is,
is doing this.
they're setting it up for the big fall. That's
Oh, yeah.
when the dollar has been removed, and they're They're going to say, "Look what China and Japan did. They changed our dollar, and that's what caused us to go." No, this is all manipulation,
Yep.
set up to bring Americans under subjugation because they know as long as we have money, we have the power to rebel. They're trying to remove the assets and power for us to have the ability to rebel because they know it takes money, resources, assets, an ability to move and have
But
the
they-
ability to get from
They
here to
forgot one thing. They forgot the will of the people.
there. That's true.
And the strength of you, I, and all of us here at this table, the
And
viewer out
those who
there,
are
you are
within-
the ones that are the change. So don't ever let them think that the money thing is keeping you from doing something.
It's true.
Because you can walk down to your city hall for free. Granted, you may have the time and make
Or
a
call.
fuss.
Or call.
Or
Make
call,
a
do
phone
something. I mean,
Or you
yeah.
can send an email.
Send an email or talk to your friends about something. You are the change. You just have to engage in thinking. It's when we stop thinking is when we're pretty much.
Or you get angry about your football.
Or when you think that
yeah, yeah.
your opinion,
Tribalism.
That's always gonna happen.
and when you think your
Especially
opinion
Bay
doesn't
Area
count,
teams.
don't give up because you lose a round. Don't give up when you're defeated in one point.
Yep.
Because the point is not the battle, it's the war.
Right, so let's get back on topic. Walter, I think you're up. I already pretty much gave my whole
Well,
spiel
Ron
on
Paul, for me, I
Ron
was
Paul.
kind of aware of Ron Paul because I'm from the only state that produces people like, no. No, California, every state has people who we are change. And all it takes is for you to be like Ron Paul was. I don't believe in Ron Paul per se. I have a different opinion than those here. I think he's always been part of the system. And the reason I say that is he's in Congress, he's been there years. He knows how it works. He knows about Kennedy, and I think each congressman is told how it went. Once they've been there a certain time, they are told by Poppy, who has maybe heard of the name of George H.W. Bush. There's a
Who was
lot,
there when it happened to
and nothing against you, Mr. Bush, but you're in government, you have to run things. You have to support the hierarchy. As
Sell
everybody,
out, like Rand Paul.
and everybody in government, it's not only Mr. Bush. You could go to Brown.
They're all
in-
sellouts.
Oh,
and-
Jerry
That's
Brown.
all they do is
No, no,
sell
no,
out.
I'm talking about England.
Ah,
For
Yeah,
sale.
yeah, yeah,
They should
okay.
have. They should have
And-
a big sign that says
In
for
France,
sale.
if
Give
you
me
go
money
to
and I'll
any
do what you
modern
want.
nation right now, whether it's in the Eurozone, in the America, South America, there is a cabal in each that oversees the politicians
oh yeah.
of the area.
Well, that's the Illuminati, I guess you can
Yes, and the money and the banks, because the
Yeah,
governments have to
conspiracies.
put all their money where?
But they say
call it. And
that
the
there's
IMF.
And the
There's a
banks.
good-
World
there's a
Bank.
bad
Oh,
one.
yeah, there you go. And then through the bankers, messages can be relayed, and it can be relayed not in the, as I've told.
Well, yeah, the bankers have always had that shadow government. I guess you can say world shadow government. I mean, we first seen the creation of it with the World Trade Organization and the IMF.
Yes,
I mean, the IMF, the
that
United
controls
States,
what they
the
call
United-
third world countries.
right? But not only that,
It
they also
strips
give
resources.
right, but they get the loans from us.
Yes.
And then loan it to these third world countries, and we're pretty much stuck with the bag. You, I, myself, all of us here.
Well,
the
we're
viewers
all
well.
we're all warehouse receipts.
So
Right, well, yeah, we're all
okay,
stock
so
certificates.
Four, six,
what do we
three, three,
do?
five, six, da, 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 da.
Well, there's a
Whatever
lot of
your
things
social
we can do.
security
What can
number.
we do? You know, what can we do short term? What can we do long term?
Well,
Short term is get informed.
There's that's all
You
I'm
have
gonna
to
say. Short
get-
term,
You gotta, yeah, you gotta
wake up.
everything
You
that's
can't
going
just start
learn.
acting.
And
You
you
gotta
can't just
know.
you can't just read one book or watch one YouTube.
Or listen to us
and you
right
can't
here.
even listen to us. Yeah,
You
don't
gotta- you
don't
gotta-
believe us.
you
Just
gotta
believe
constantly-
yourself.
Don't even watch
Right.
this. Don't even watch this video.
you gotta
No, watch
be,
the
Go
video.
watch something
No,
else.
this is a good starting point. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Well,
yeah, you're
this
going
is
fine.
just a challenge to you to get off your couch and quit watching Alex Jones, quit watching us, and become your own source of information
Be your
by
own. Be
looking.
your own researcher.
At-
Be
you
your
haven't
own.
turned it
Right,
Like,
yeah, and
you know,
there's
right-
some stuff I will say about
research
the
on
Ron
material.
Paul shift going on right now. But go ahead, Sonny. You're about to.
Floor is
Yeah, I mean, so basically, what I'm trying to say is, be your own Alex Jones. Do your own research.
that's
Do
right.
read your own books, write your own blogs. Share the information with other people. Challenge yourself to learn more, because the more we all learn, the more close we're going to get to resolving something. The problem is what happens is when you rely on one person, you get stuck to that information, become passive, you become a cult member, and that's the problem
do
with
that.
people in our movement. They're becoming cult members. They're relying on one person to do everything for them. They're not being their own man. Each and every one of us on this table has done something on our own to further our understanding and to help others with just the truth and just trying to make our world a better place. You have to have that attitude.